Paradox Rift is coming out in just over a week. Today, I'm going to be going over the top decks from Paradox Rift. These include both completely new decks and old decks that receive major buffs from new cards. So first, let's take a look at Roaring Moon. So Roaring Moon EX has 230 HP, is a dark type Pokemon. It has Frenzied Gouging for Dark and a colorless, knock out your opponent's active, and it does 200 damage to itself if they were knocked out. It also has Calamity Storm, which is 100, and if you discard a stadium, it does 120 more. Now, this alone isn't amazing, but when you look at another new card from the set, Sada's Vitality, which says take 2 energies from your discard and put them on your ancient Pokemon, and then draw 3 cards. This combined with Dark Patch, which we've had for a while, hasn't really seen much play, allows you to get a Roaring Moon powered up and ready to go as soon as turn 1. So my basic idea for this build is a turbo version where you pretty much just try to get this turn 1, go for the Dark Patch and Sada's Vitality as soon as possible. You can run cards like the new Earthen Vessel, which discard a card from your hand and search your deck for 2 basic energy cards to help expedite this process. Radiant Greninja to power up your discard pile with energies, Squawkabilly EX to dump your hand, draw another 6 cards at the beginning of the game, and of course, Pokestop to make sure that you are getting all of the items that you need, such as Dark Patch. So with this turbo build, it is very, very top heavy. So you're pretty much spending all of your resources at the beginning of the game. You can blow through literally like half of your deck right from the start. And you want to go second to get Sada and Squawk in the same turn. It's very important to power up your Roaring Moon and take a huge knockout instantly. So there could be other ways to build this. I was thinking about maybe pairing it with Darkrai V-Star to kind of give it some strength in the later stages of the game, allowing you to pick back up Dark Patches and maybe a Cross Switcher to get the additional boss effect. So the strengths of Roaring Moon are that, first of all, it can outspeed pretty much anything, which is awesome against like 2 prize decks like Miraidon or Chien-Pao if they have it in the active. You're always able to take the first 2 prizes, which is huge because it means you're leading the prize trade and your opponent pretty much has to out-trade you if they want to have any chance of winning the game. So that leads me to the main weakness of this deck is single prizers. Now, I think it does pretty well into like Lost Box. I'm mainly referring to single prize decks that can one-shot a Roaring Moon, such as Gardevoir. It has a really hard time keeping up with Gardevoir, getting all those 1 prizers and just gunning down our 2 prizers. So I was testing Brute Bonnet. It might be good to offset some of those single prize weaknesses. It is a single prizer that is an ancient Pokemon that you can Sada and Dark Patch onto. Only does 120 damage, but that is enough to at least take a prize card and force our opponent to hit into a 1 prizer or just let us keep our 1 prizer and swing it to theirs. I think this might be one of the more played decks going into LAIC just because it's just a lot of fun to play, really packs a punch, and I think it's pretty good. The next deck I want to talk about is Miraidon EX with Iron Hands. So Iron Hands EX is a 230 HP lightning type Pokemon, has arm press for lightning colorless, does 160, but the real kicker is amp you very much, does 120 for a lightning and 3 colorless. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from its attack, take 1 more prize card. Now, I actually don't think that Iron Hands is quite as good as ADP, like not even close. But I think it is the Stoutland of our metagame. I think that with Miraidon, with Flaffy, it can be consistently powered up. And against Gardevoir and Lost Box, where all of their attackers are single prizers, you being able to take 2 prizes off of every single one is massive. So I actually didn't think that Iron Hands was that good for a while. I guess mid, if you could even say. But like with Miraidon and Electric Generator, like this card's disgusting. I think in Miraidon specifically, it's disgusting because it fixes all of Miraidon's problems. So like it fixes Gardevoir and Lost Box. Like you don't have to worry about losing the prize trade. You might actually be winning the prize trade, like against Guardy specifically. You can do everything that Miraidon does, outspeed, etc. And instead of taking 1 prize a turn, you're taking 2 prizes every turn. So in my opinion, another one of Iron Hands' like major problems is it is such a high energy cost. You need 4 energies on it. So a problem with it is being able to stream Iron Hands, which Miraidon can easily do. Miraidon EX alone can just get out an Iron Hands every turn from your deck. And if you have a couple Flaffies out, you can just instantly charge it up. Not to mention Electric Generator. I mean, if you just hit a couple energies off of this, you're golden. And you're still Miraidon. Like, you still have everything that Miraidon has. You still have Judge Path. You still have Raikou. You still have all the stuff Miraidon has. You just also have Iron Hands. But yeah, super solid archetype. I really hate that I might be playing Miraidon soon, but it's just that good. Next, I want to talk about Gardevoir. So Gardevoir is already like a tier 1 deck, right? Like pretty good. It gets even better. Countercatcher is a reprint from Paradox Rift, where you can switch out one of your opponent's bench for their active if you are behind on prizes. So Countercatcher being an item card is absolutely insane. Especially in Gardevoir, you're always falling behind on prizes. So a boss's orders in an item card is nuts. You can play this and Iono, you can work or bump to stadium, catcher something up. I mean, it just allows you to like always out trade, like literally never miss a beat as Gardevoir. You're always able to attack with the baby, and you're always able to take 2 prizes every turn. Like without Countercatcher, Iono is nuts, but like with Countercatcher, it is just absolutely crazy. You can play 4 Iono, it's just nuts. You also get Jirachi, which solves Lost Box if need be. Jirachi's ability shuts off damage counters from your opponent's basic Pokemon done to your bench. Like it is clearly a Sableye counter, and Guardy kind of struggles with Sableye a lot at a time. So if Lost Box is prevalent, you can just put one of these guys in there to just say, hey, Lost Box, you're not doing anything. So your strengths are that, yeah, you're still like a tier 1 deck. You're still broken. And you're also favorable into Roaring Moon. Like it's not even close. It's a landslide. Guardy wins like virtually every time if it gets set up. The weaknesses of Guardy are Iron Hands and obviously the clock. The deck just ties a lot. I don't know what to tell you. But like I'm not even that like much of a Gardevoir player, and I just really think that this archetype is going to shine at LAIC or San Antonio. I think that like if you have like good enough of a players like piloting this, I think that this deck can absolutely dominate like everything. Just need to find an Iron Hands answer because that card is scary. So those are my top picks actually from Paradox Rift. I do want to mention a couple more archetypes which I'm going to continue to explore, but I don't think are like the best. The first is Chien-Pao with Iron Hands. So this was something I was like excited about. Like when Iron Hands first came out, I was like, oh, put it with Baxcalibur, load it up, and Jake your heart. Yeah, put it with Baxcalibur, load it up. You know, you can Super Rod or Clara it back, and you just SCR for the energies, and you're just swinging with Iron Hands every turn. My problem is that you're already dealing with like a stage 2. You already have to Irida for your stuff, and it's like Chien-Pao can barely operate by itself. Like you're adding an Iron Hands to it and lightning energies. Like it seems like a little bit anti-synergistic to me, which is why I haven't been super keen to like explore the archetype. But like I actually thought about all this before I played Rotom V in Chien-Pao. So maybe Rotom would help solve a lot of problems because you can Rotom, get a bunch of cards in your hand, and pretty much set up an Iron Hands almost guaranteed. However, again, Chien-Pao can already take multiple prizes in one turn. It already has an Iron Hands of its own in Cross-Switch or Canceling Clone. Like you can already Cross-Switch or Canceling Clone, take multiple knockouts into Guardy into Lost Box. And I would argue that this is better a lot of the time. Like if you get Cross-Switch or Canceling Clone into Guardy, they can't play the game. Like if you eliminate all of their ults, you just win instantly. Whereas if you get like a turn 2 Iron Hands, yes, it's very good and you probably still win. I just don't think you need it because the deck already has a way to take multiple prizes. But yeah, like those are my initial thoughts. There could be like a deck build or something I haven't tried that just really gets this thing out and streamlines it. But I think Miraidon is probably the better way to play Iron Hands. Again, I could be totally wrong. Those are just my initial thoughts. Next, I want to mention Gholdengo EX. So I was super hyped about this card when it was revealed. I was like, I'm going to make this guy work. It reminds me of Zoroark GX. We're ready to go. Its ability says you can draw a card. If it's in the active spot, you can draw another card. And then the attack does 50 times the number of basic energy you discard from your hand. And it does 50 damage for each card you discard in this way. So on paper, it seems like ridiculously broken. You can draw a bunch of cards, you have superior energy retrieval to get your energies back, and you could just be swinging and drawing cards like every turn. There are a couple problems with this though. The first is that Gholdengo is a stage 1. So your main attacker is a stage 1. There's not really any alternative attackers, especially in the metal type sphere. You really completely have to rely off of this guy. You have to have like an amazing start. You have to have like all of your Gimmighoul out, or like at least 3. If you're playing against Roaring Moon, they're going to kill one of them instantly. So you have to make sure to get another one the next turn. So once you get all of that, once you say, okay, I'm going to get all my Gimmighoul, have a good start, now I evolve up, you still need a lot of energy in your hand to actually pull off the knockout. Like in order to knock out a Roaring Moon, for example, which has 230, you need 5 energies discarded from your hand, as well as 1 energy attached actually on the Gholdengo. So that is 6 energy cards. Compare it to something like Chien-Pao, where that only needs 4 energy cards. So that is like drastically less. Because remember, Chien-Pao is using the energies from the attack cost to boost the damage. Gholdengo doesn't have that. The energy that you put on Gholdengo is a prerequisite. So like you just need a lot. And like I want this guy to work, but you just need so many cards in your hand to actually make them work. And I don't see why you would play this over something like Chien-Pao, where you just have the ability to get energies from your deck, the ability to hit 240 right away if you do nothing else than like Shivery Chill, pass Shivery Chill, rare candy backs, 240. Let me know if you found a broken way to build Gholdengo. I really want this guy to work. I've tried a lot of different support Pokemon, have not quite gotten him to beat like even Roaring Moon. I just need him to beat Roaring Moon if I want to like have a chance of playing him at all. But yeah, those are my initial Paradox Rift takes. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I will be going to LAIC, so definitely stay tuned for more Paradox Rift updates and deck reviews and stuff like that. After Toronto this weekend, all of my testing and everything will go strictly towards Paradox Rift, so definitely stay tuned. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.